Hi everyone, I'm thrilled today to be able to talk to Andrea Levenhill, the new Chief Executive Officer of Committee for Children. We are appropriately distanced. Actually, Andrea is all the way over in the other end of the building. Hi Andrea.
Hi Shauna, it's so lovely to see you.
So Andrea, first off, congratulations on your promotion.
Thank
How does
you.
it feel?
Oh, it's hard to describe, really. It's a bit surreal, as this entire year has been for, I assume, everyone. But mostly I'm so just grateful and honored to have the faith put in me. And I'm really hopeful and so looking forward to the new year.
That's fantastic. Let's talk a little about you and your journey. You grew up in Kentucky. What was that like? And how did that influence, who you are and your journey to this position?
Growing up in Kentucky was an experience that I wouldn't trade, but it was hard. But I also was quite fortunate to live in a town that I would say was unique in Kentucky, Bowling Green, Kentucky. It was designated as a refugee and asylum city. So 1 in 4 residents in my hometown was foreign born. So it was small, and the many struggles that a lot of impoverished rural areas have, we experienced, but we also had this diversity of culture and race and ethnicity that I didn't see in other places in Kentucky, that I think was really beneficial to my growth and development.
Is there anyone in particular that inspired your career path?
I talk about her frequently. She's the voice who lives in my head, and that's my grandmother. Her name is Verna. And she is still to this day working as a nurse. She's been a nurse for 60 years, over 60 years. She's really dedicated to serving her community and to doing for others. And she really created this kind of force in my life where I could see this is how you can build a loving and supportive relationship with other people, and that you're reliant on other people in a way that many people, I think, don't see, that your success and their success is linked, and that your community should come first.
Wow, I love that. Verna.
Yes.
Connections, relationships. You've been with Committee for Children for over 13 years. What led you to the organization?
Wow, that's a big question. I found such a desire to help children in myself, probably at a young age, based on my own experiences. I took a huge leap of faith 13 years ago and came to Seattle and found Committee for Children. I was so compelled by the vision, safe children thriving in a peaceful world. Who could want anything more? I've worked in operations and on products and with clients. I've been in so many roles here, and I think that this journey is really aligned with what my leadership style is, which is a very adaptive leadership style. I think that you need to elevate leadership wherever it exists in the organization, and I want to think about where we can empower those closest to the work to do that work well, to make decisions, to develop their own leadership. Because I had that. I made that happen here, and that should be true for anyone.
Yes, you described yourself as an adaptive leader. I think many would also describe you as being a very empathetic leader who is, clearly dedicated to genuine, lasting relationships. As you start this new role as CEO, what is your vision for the organization?
I'm going to take this opportunity to have a bit of a reset and to really think about how we've operated in the last year in such a crazy time, in a sort of crisis management mode, really trying to extend our mission in ways that do the most good right now on the ground with those that we're working with. We have to continue that. But I also want to take some time to really assess what's next for us. This pandemic and the commingled crises, the incredible call for social justice and racial equity, all of that has to factor into our future. Now, when we think about the next 10 years, I think we'll see a much deeper focus on how we are achieving our North Star goal, reaching 100 million children and positively transforming their social emotional well-being. And so I think there's going to be a lot of exciting advances around the cultural responsiveness of our programs, thinking about how our policy and advocacy work can lead the way, and also thinking about how we are extending our partnerships to really influence our international presence, to think about our field relationships differently, and to create an environment where all boats are rising around the social emotional health and supports for children.
I'm going to pull out one thing and ask you a bit of a follow-up there. So Committee for Children has been focused on advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion inside and outside of the organization. Why is this commitment so important to you personally and to fulfilling the mission for the organization?
It is central to this mission. We're going to step up and do the work we have to do to make sure that every child is living in safety and is feeling socially and emotionally supported. That means elevating diverse voices, making sure that we are empowering and giving agency to the experiences of those most marginalized in this work.
What is it about the education community and the clients that Committee for Children serves that you most appreciate and love?
Oh, they are the best. And educators are just motivated and motivational. Like when you are working with them, there's such amazing generosity. It keeps you grounded, it keeps you focused, it keeps you excited about the work because you're in it together. This is such a space of, we're gonna come together for these kids, and we're gonna do what we can to make sure that they have the best opportunity possible to thrive.
What would you like educators and the clients that Committee for Children serves to know about you?
Let me think about this for a second, Shauna, because I was not prepared for this question.
Yeah.
I have a very aspirational and transformational approach to work, but I realize that change and transformation can be hard. And so I like to say I have kind of an innovative mind, but a pragmatist heart. I want to make sure that everyone's brought along. I really think about systems and concepts and theories a lot, and I'm very interested in what are these things that are going to work, that can be implemented easily, that can have really big impact. That's really compelling for me, and that takes a lot of innovation. But I care deeply that all the perspectives are coming to the table, that you have thought about how that is connected with the core values of the organization, and the decisions that are being made you're thinking about the people that are impacted by those decisions.
So Andrea, I have one last question for you. It's a very important question. What do you like to do for fun when you aren't at work?
You know what's really funny about what I like to do for fun when not at work is that I didn't have many of those things until the last couple of years, because I find work fun. I really like working. When I wanted something to do or I was bored, I would work in the evenings, and it didn't feel unbalanced to me because I had flow. I was in it, right? But more recently, I realized that it's necessary to develop those other pieces of yourself. And so I've been doing a lot of drawing. I was able to develop a growth mindset around it, finally. As a child, I thought I couldn't draw, so I didn't, but I was able to really open up to that in the last couple of years. My children are very into cooking, so we cook together. My son, in fact, every week makes dinner for the family at a very young age, which is just fun to, I kind of borrow his enthusiasm. I have a lot of fun just hanging out with my kids and talking to them, understanding how their brains work. And now we have these animals in our home. We have a dog, we have a bearded dragon, and we have 2 gerbils. And it's very soothing to have animals around.
Well, Andrea, your dedication and commitment to children and to the mission of Committee for Children is evident. Congratulations again on your promotion to CEO of Committee for Children.
Thank you.